What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome here today to a NBA tier list video, another one coming back on the channel. And this one, we are going to be ranking a month into the season where every team is going to be at. So I did do one of these at the start of the season, and I'm going to switch it up a little bit today. We're going to be reacting to pretty much a month into the season and where I view teams as final contenders, the top tier, 100% making the playoffs. We do have two tiers here for the play-in tournament, like teams that I think will finish at the end of the conference and make it into the playoffs, and teams that I think will be in the play-in tournament but not move on to the playoffs. Teams that are probably not going to make it, maybe they're currently there now just because maybe they overperformed in the first month, but I can't see them making it, and then 100% not making the playoffs. So if you guys are enjoying these tier list videos, please drop a thumbs up on this video. You guys showed great support on the highest paid player tier list video and the big three one. So if you guys want more, let me know in the comments below. I think I might be doing like best player on every team tier list or ranking front offices. You guys gave me those suggestions in the last one. So yeah, if you guys disagree with any of these, let me know down below. It's just my opinion. So without further ado, we can get into this. So alright, starting off with a tough one, the Philadelphia 76ers. I kind of want to, you know what, I'm going to pull up what I had in the preseason. Alright, so I had Sixers not in the title contenders here, but they have started off looking really good, and a team that's been kind of decimated with COVID and a lot of players not being able to play together. Right now, I'm going to, okay, because I pretty much want 4 finals contenders, the teams that I think will make it to the conference finals. They're still not there. Like, I think they could, but I'm not going to put them in the top 4. I have 4 teams in mind that I'm going to put in the top 4, and they're not one of them. They're still really good. They're definitely going to make the playoffs. I don't know if they're final contenders yet. If they got James Harden, boom, they would have been final contenders, no doubt about it, but I think 100% making the playoffs, as they're one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. The Wizards, okay, they were a team. They've been the team the most decimated by COVID. They haven't played a lot of games. They've only played 11 games, as you can see, and, I mean, they've been bad so far. Their defense is still really bad. Bradley Beal's been pretty good for them, but Russell Westbrook really hasn't been all that yet. Now, okay, so they were my 8th seed. I think I'm going to have them as a non-playoff team now, but still making the play-in tournament. I could see them still like ending up as the 10th seed in the Eastern Conference because the play-in tournament is the 9th and the 10th seeds in the 7th and the 8th. So I think they could still get there. There's a chance, or there's like good reasoning to put them here. Probably not making it because they're 3-8 and they haven't looked good so far. And what's to say that their defense is going to get better? They were pretty much fully healthy. They lost Thomas Bryant for what, the whole year? So it's just hard to see this team getting any better. I'm going to put them in the 10 because I think they can hit the 10th seed. So I'm going to put them there. Atlanta Hawks. So they started off hot, and then they kind of cooled off a little bit. At this current moment, they are the 8th seed. They're 6 and 7. They've had a couple injuries as well. I think they'll still be in the play-in tournament. That's the thing. Do I think they're going to be in the 8th seed spot? Or do I think they're going to be in the 9th seed? Because that's pretty much where I'm debating them. I'm saying the Wizards are going to be the 10th seed. Do I have the Hawks as the 9th? You know what? I still think the Hawks will make the playoffs. Now, yeah, I mean, I was wrong with my preseason prediction. I said it was going to be the Wizards and the Hawks missing out, but I'm going to change it up here. We're going to have Wizards at 10 and then Hawks at 8. Cleveland Cavaliers, they're probably not making the playoffs. They did have a great start to the year. I think they were 4-0. At this current moment, you can see they are the 7th seed at 6 and 7. Kevin Love, I mean, he's going to be constantly hurt throughout the year. He was out, I think, 3 weeks with like an MCL sprain or something like that. I forgot what the exact injury was. Colin Sexton's looked really good. Garland's looked great when he was playing, but unfortunately he got hurt. I just don't see this team making the playoffs and being good all year long, and it's looking like they might cut or trade away Kevin Porter Jr., which will not help out their bench. So they're probably not making it for me. I just can't see the Cavs in the play-in tournament. The Pistons, they are 100% not making the playoffs. At this current moment, I think they are the worst team in the NBA at 3-10. Killian Hayes is out for the year, so I'm just hoping they can salvage this year. As Jeremy Grant is one bright spot, I am going to eat my words on that so far. I thought he was still a massive overpay, and he's looked great so far. So shout out to Troy Weaver. I was wrong about that. And I was getting clowned on by some Pistons fans on Twitter, like, because Isaiah Stewart put up like 8 and 7 in a game, and because I was trashing on the pick. Well, he's not. I don't think he's been good this year. Sadiq Bey, I think, looked fine. Killian Hayes, it sucks that he's out for the year, but I think one thing to salvage the year is at least get something for Derrick Rose. Can you get it late first? We'll see, but hopefully they're able to do that. The Pacers. Do I think they're going to be the 7th? I think they're 100% making the playoffs. They are 8 and 5. Sabonis has looked great. They just made a trade for Caris LeVert losing Oladipo, which is interesting because LeVert could be out for a little bit and possibly the whole year. I don't know the full extent on that. I think he might be having surgery, but Do I think they're going to be this? I think they're going to make it. I still think that team is really talented. I mean, Miles Turner just got hurt, though. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I don't know. We're going to go back to the Pacers because I'm debating if I'm going to have them as my 7th seed or 100% making it. Bucks, they are my first final contenders. They are the second, or they have the best record in the second best record in the Eastern Conference. I think they look great, and in the playoffs, they have the guys that can match up with a bunch of people. And I had them finals contenders in my preseason picks. Have them here. Raptors. Okay, the Raptors started off the season horribly. At this moment, they are 5-8, so they have been better over their most recent games. It's interesting because I envisioned either having them as the 7th seed or the Miami Heat, who have also been disappointing. But the Heat have had a little bit of COVID stuff as well. I think I'm going to go with the Raptors being the 7th seed, though. And speaking of the Heat, I just can't see them not making the playoffs. Like, Bam looked phenomenal last night, and I think the Raptors will get in as the 7th seed. I still think they make the playoffs. I'm not giving up on them. Like, they're literally only a game out. And people are like, wow, they're not making the playoffs. And I'm going to have the Hawks as my 8th seed. So I think I'm going to go with that. And I know definitely my 9th seed is probably going to be the Orlando Magic. I could see one of these teams being the 9th seed. As the Magic are 6-8. And I do think they're better on paper than the Cavs and the Knicks. As we could just mention the Knicks now. I think they're like the Cavs. I think they overachieved to start off the year at 7-8. And like the Cavs, who are 6-7. But I just can't see the Knicks in the playoffs. I just don't think they're good enough defensively, even though Tibbs has done pretty good on that side of the ball this year, as we expected. I mean, Julius Randle has looked phenomenal on the offensive end. I'm glad he's not a ball hog and a ball stopper as he was last year and a turnover just machine. He still doesn't hustle, I think, enough on defense, which makes me, people are like, why isn't he, you're trying to build around Julius Randle? Because he can't play defense. And I mean, if he was good enough as we'd want to build around him, he'd lead us to the playoffs this year. So we'll see what happens as the season progresses. I just want to see RJ Barrett get his efficiency up, and hopefully they'll finally start Emmanuel quickly. But I mean, maybe the Knicks or the Cavs could get the 10th or 19th, 100%, and the Wizards could be down here, 100%. But just right now, I'm going to say that the Knicks and the Cavs are probably not making it, just of pure talent. I think they just are overachieving a little bit. On to the Dallas Mavericks. Okay. This one's interesting, because do I think that they're going to be the 7th seed? I mean, I did predict them, or projected, whatever, for them to be the 2 seed, because I was like, I want to get Luke MVP, and I think it should go to a top 2 team in a conference. I mean, they're only 6-7. Like, they're literally 2 games out of, they're less than 2 games out of the 3 seed, technically. They're 3, of being the 4 seed, 4 seed. They're a game and a half out of the 4 seed. So, I still think that I just can't see them not making the playoffs. I think they're 100% making it. Yeah, I mean, I might end up switching them down to 7th or 8th seed as this goes along. Same with Denver. Jokic has been amazing to start the year. He's been the best passer in the NBA, and he's been so much fun to watch. Their record, I mean, they started off a little bit slower. They have been better as of late. They are 6-7. I predicted Jamal Murray to be my most improved player. That's not looking too good. That's probably going to go to Jeremy Grant or Christian Wood at the moment. But yeah, I think they're just going to make it. Memphis. Ooh. Okay, I see Memphis as being the 9th or the 10th seed. I might end up dropping them, probably not. I don't think that they will make the playoffs. I mean, they kind of held their own with John Morant being out, as they are the 8th seed. I don't know. Maybe I'll eat my words. I think they'll be in the play-in tournament. But, yeah, I think they'll be in the play-in tournament, so I'm not going to drop them down to probably not. 100% not Minnesota. I mean, I had them in probably not going into the year, and I knew they weren't going to be good. A lot of people were like, oh, they're going to surprise a lot of people. They're not very good. I mean, Cat, he's not injury prone, but it does seem like he misses some time. And then, unfortunately, he's also like super unlucky. He gets COVID, which sucks, and what's all happened to him in the offseason when COVID, what it did to his family. So that just really sucks for him, and I feel really bad. But just like D'Lo, I mean, he's just somebody that is just like, I don't know. He's got a high floor, but he's got a low ceiling. He's somebody that can lead you to the playoffs and lead an offense. And then like Anthony Edwards has looked solid to start the year, I think, about what people expected, and that team definitely needs defensive help. I just don't think there's any way they make the playoffs this year. Spurs, okay. This is a team that has been good to start the year. They're 8-6, correct? They are 8-6. They are the current 5 seed. I mean, we're only 14 games in, at least for the Spurs, so there's another 58 games to be played. In the preseason, I had them in probably not, correct? I had them in, probably not playoff teams. Where did I have Minnesota? Did I not rank Minnesota? No, I did. Okay, I'm blind. But yeah, wait, who are my definite nots in the West? It was just, okay, say. So I think, I don't know, I'm going to have them in, as the play-in teams with Memphis, but we'll see if I switch that. I think, this is going to get tough. This is going to get tough. Utah, I had them in 7th or 8th seed, I think, like the play-in tournament team, but I think they're 100% making the playoffs. They've had a really good start. As long as they stay healthy, I think they'll be a top 6 seed. Clippers, they're one of my finals contenders still. They are the second best team in the Western Conference. Paul George has looked like 2017 or 2018/19 Paul George, what we saw in OKC. He's fully healthy. He's been great this season. Suns, I think they nagged the 7th or the 8th seed. I think they do make the playoffs. I had them as my 9th seed in my preseason picks, but they've looked great so far on both ends of the floor. You've seen great games out of Mikal Bridges, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Chris Paul, and then Jay Crowder as well. And like I think they have a well-rounded team. I like them a lot. And they're shocking me a little bit, or not shocking me a little bit. I knew they would be right around that. Like I was like, no, I'm not gonna be surprised if they make the playoffs as the 7th or 8th seed. I had them as my 9th seed, so I'm not really too surprised. Portland, okay, Portland. I would normally have them in 100%, but do I think they're gonna be there? I'm going to go back to Portland because I want to see how I wrap these out. I'm going to do the ones I definitely feel comfortable on. Like the Lakers, they're final contenders. They're the best team in the NBA record-wise. And they're the reigning champions with the best player in the league. So that one is pretty easy. Another easy one is the Nets. I mean, I don't think they'll finish as a top 3 seed because I think players will miss some games. I mean, they definitely could. No. They'll probably finish as like the 3 seed. I could see maybe behind Boston and Milwaukee or Philly or one of those teams because I think like they'll take some games off and whatever. And with that victory of Kevin Durant, who's a top 5 player, he's playing like arguably the best player in the league this year. Like he could be your MVP right now. Either way, he's looking like the KD of old, which is pretty much a top 2 player in the NBA. If you have him behind LeBron, you have Kyrie Irving. We'll see when he comes back. At this moment, he hasn't played yet. He's been a little bit of a head case this year, but with the whole missing the games because of the party, and then the NBA suspended him. But hopefully, he'll be back on the court soon. And then they obviously traded for James Harden. Now their bench is a little weak, but either way, you have James Harden, a top 10 player, KD, a top 2 player, Kyrie Irving, a top 20 player. You're making you're finals contenders, and I would be very shocked if this team did not make it to the conference finals. Like these would be my conference finals predictions right here. LA versus LA. We'll see if it happens this year. And then Milwaukee, we'll see if they can make it, and then Brooklyn. So those are the ones I definitely feel comfortable on. I know another 100% team not making the playoffs is the OKC Thunder. Obviously, they're a rebuilding team this year. They're kind of getting their feet wet this year with their kind of new era there with no Chris Paul / Westbrook, what they had 2 years ago, and they ended up trading Steven Adams. They ended up trading Dennis Schroeder. It's just a different time there. Probably not making the playoffs, Chicago Bulls. I just don't see them being the 9th or the 10th seed and getting up there. It's pretty much like Zach LaVine, Amari Markkanen, and like Otto Porter's all right. Like Wendell Carter Jr. and Kobe White haven't been all that good this year. I just don't see Zach LaVine. He's kind of like D'Lo to me. He's kind of like Julius Randle. I think Zach LaVine's better than Julius Randle. I think I might rather have him than D'Lo just because of his efficiency, but I just can't see him leading a team to the playoffs. He just hasn't done it yet. What's making me to think he's going to do it now? Boston Celtics, they're 100% making the playoffs. If I wanted to add another finals contender there, I would, but I'm leaving it as just my conference finals teams. So they're 100% making the playoffs. They could end up as the 1 seed. They could, but I just like Milwaukee. I just like Milwaukee and Brooklyn over them if they were to play in the playoffs, which will probably happen. And then let me see. Like I think, how many Western Conference teams? So Pacers. They're 100% making it. I mean, I already have my 2 7th or 8th seeds, so that one makes sense there. Golden State or Houston. I think Houston. Okay, so it's pretty much Houston. Actually, you know what? I still like the Warriors, so I could see the Suns as the 7th seed, and I could see the Warriors as the 8th seed. And then do I think the Rockets fall out as like the 11th seed? I don't know. You know what? I mean, if Houston and San Antonio played, I honestly do like Houston a little bit more. So I'm going to think San Antonio falls off to like the 11th seed and Houston maybe takes like the 10th seed. I think that's what I'm going to roll with. Portland, I have 100% making since I will have these 2 teams as the 7th or 8th seeds. The Hornets are probably not making the playoffs, but I would also be tempted to putting Charlotte over Washington because they have, I think, they have the talent to make it, or Orlando. Like Charlotte could definitely take one of these spots. So if you're a Charlotte fan, I can agree with that, so don't get too mad at me. But the Pelicans, man. How many Western Conference teams do I have? So I have 1, 2. Yeah, so I have all my playoff teams figured out. So I have to drop one of these teams. Like, I don't know, but I could see the Pelicans making the playoffs too. But you know what? I'm going to drop Houston. I'm going to have the Pelicans and the Grizzlies as my playing teams, and I'm going to have these 2 Texas teams probably not making it. If they were fringe playing teams, then these 2 would be up here. Then I'd probably also have Charlotte and I think I would take Cleveland over Chicago and New York, but I'm not doing it like that. I want to stay true to the tier list, so we're going to be dropping these teams down, and I'm going to go with those 4. And honestly, the Kings, do I want to give them any benefit of the doubt? You know what? If I'm going to give, like, Houston and Cleveland and New York the benefit of the doubt, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I just don't see them making it, but I'll put them in probably not rather than 100% not. So yeah, that is currently my tier list 1 month into the season. I think the season started on the 22nd. You guys will be seeing this on the 19th. Let me know what you guys think of it down below, and drop a like if you guys do enjoy these tier list videos. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a little bit tough, only narrowing it to 2 7th or 8th team play-ins, and then 9th or 10th team play-ins. So that was pretty tough. Like I said, I would probably, if they were like fringe play-ins, I could throw in Houston, I could throw in Charlotte, I could throw in San Antonio, and I could throw in Cleveland. But yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stay true to it, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you on the next one. Love you guys. Peace.